And so that content can be served up. It can be even served up on a sales page. It doesn't have to be a blatant sales pitch right from the get-go. It can be information that people are looking for, whether it's in a video, audio, or through a reverse opt-in process. But the point being is that that's what we're seeing this shift in, and it's something that I believe in. It's something that's really powerful, because that shift has changed so much that when we do product launches, now we're seeing not just, I wrote the very first $1 million in one day sales letter for John Reese, the one letter that started it all. But that record has been shattered so many times ever since. And a lot of people call me the Roger Bannister of online copywriting, because, like Roger Bannister, he broke the 4-minute mile, and after that, everybody started breaking it. Well, the same idea with me is that after I wrote that sales letter, many other marketers breaking it. And I don't want to say it's about copy, because I don't consider myself a great copywriter. I think it's that people are starting to understand and adapt the style to the market, and then making it so with that when the product launches, it just absolutely breaks all records. And you're seeing now these launches for these products done in such a way where we're making millions and millions of dollars in just one day. So anyways, that's just to underline what you said. So the report is called The Death of the Sales Letter.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out. You talked about some of the ideas as far as videos and the script that goes with the video effectively being a sales letter, and I reckon that's absolutely key, making sure that you touch on those same elements. You want to lead with almost like a headline effectively, which is something that's going to capture people's attention for the duration. Then you want to lead them in and tell them the story, and try and make sure that you have your offer, your call to action. All of these prime points of a sales letter need to be worked into the effectively sales letter video. And you talked about some of the different changes that are happening, and I know you're a big split tester. I was wondering if you've done any testing or split testing to know how things like video and interactivity in sales letters are affecting sort of the conversion rates.
Well, yeah, they are. I mean, this is the whole premise behind the reason why I wrote that special report, or that white paper, because I am seeing, I started to see a decline in conversions on your traditional sales letters, and going back up again when we start to include interactive elements like video. And video is an interactive element. What people have to touch buttons to start, play, pause, rewind, whatever the case is. But not only that, there was an interesting thing that happened a few years ago when I taught marketing management and professional selling at a local college here in Ottawa, Canada. And one of the textbooks that I had actually had some very cool statistics from a university. I think it's the University of Missouri, where a professor there by the name of Dr. Ronald Marks said that if you use multimedia in your sales presentation, and this is the days of face-to-face selling, this is not online. They found through actual studies and statistics that if you include multimedia, or if you include interaction in your sales presentation, he had some really cool numbers. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I think it was something like you increase sales by 120%. You increase comprehension level by 220%. You increase stickiness factor by 80%. You also increase believability and trust by 70%, and all those things. So all that sort of, it ticked in me, and it said, oh my gosh, this is exactly what the web needs. Because you see, here's the thing. When you read copy online, you're missing the most important element, which is the ability to inspect the product face to face. You can't touch, taste, smell, see the product in person. You don't have that ability that you normally would have if you walked into a retail store. So when you write copy, you need to use words, and I used to teach this in terms of copywriting basically, where you need to use words that sort of replace those senses. But now that we have Web 2.0, and now that broadband and all those things that now make it possible to use video and audio, and that most people will now be able to watch video and listen to audio and do interactive stuff online, now you have the ability to replace all those senses, to engage all those senses that you weren't otherwise able to with normal, blank, plain old copy. So now when you include all those things, you're going to definitely increase conversions. And yes, to answer your question, I'm sorry I'm taking so long to answer your question,
not at all.
but yes, absolutely, multimedia and all those elements that you've talked about do absolutely increase conversion.
As we start to see the shift into that type of sales letter, do you think there'll ever be a point where people are just selling on video, or is copy still going to play an important part of selling? I suppose you kind of answered that.
Well, like I said, I don't mean that you're replacing the sales letter with video. It's that you're engaging all the senses.
Yeah.
So you'll see the sales letters are often the most productive in terms of sales results, are usually the ones that blend video in the sales letter. So you'll have video in the sales letter, you'll have audio, you'll have some kind of interaction aspect. Like you'll see now these product launches where they usually start with a blog and people are commenting and they're posting videos with actual content on the video. It's not even a sales pitch, and people need to sign up to a sales letter, to an opt-in page in order to get notified of new videos. And of course, on the day of launch, you get this email that says, now the product is now available, go and buy it now. And very often these product launches are done so skillfully. And Jeff Walker, who's one of the people who's credited for really booming this mentality, this skill level in most marketers, is that once you launch, almost all the time, or most of the time, you only need a buy now button. People will buy, because there's so much anticipation. But the point being is never to replace your entire sales letter with a video. It's not meant to do that. You should use video as either a way to grab people's attention or to drive them into the sales letter, but you still need the sales letter. You need to make the offer. You need to have written copy to maybe list all the product features and product benefits. You might need to have specific things that you can't mention on the video, maybe a guarantee, some extra testimonials, maybe, and more, well, actually not maybe, but most importantly, the order process, the order form. That needs to be in a written format so people can actually process their order. So what we're probably seeing is visually shorter sales letters, but they're not really shorter. It's just that the copy is now delivered in a different format.
Perfect. I feel like you've dropped so many just gold nuggets in the laps of anyone who's listening to this as they're going through the audio. I know you don't consider yourself a great copywriter, but I sure do, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that would agree with me. I just wanted to wrap up and say thank you very much for your time, very much appreciated, and I know a lot of people are going to get a lot of benefit out of this. I can't recommend that report enough. If people want to go check it out, they can go to michelfortin.com to find out more. And did you have any other websites that you wanted to mention if people wanted to find out more? Is that the best place to get started?
No, that's the best place to get started, and thank you. I appreciate the fact that you say that you consider me a good copywriter. I don't when I say I don't consider myself a great copywriter, it's not so much that I don't feel that I'm not good, but that I always learn. Everything changes every day, and if we keep learning and we keep on our toes by learning as much as we possibly can, the more the faster and the more effective we become. But to answer your question, michaelfortin.com is one, and I think the other one, which is about that little tip on how to do market research, is marketingasp.com, which is a product by my wife. It's a good product. It's not so much about SEO, but it's a good product to learn more about your market and how they think, which is also good to create a product around, because a lot of people sell products without knowing if the product is actually going to sell first. So michaelfortin.com or marketingasp.com.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.